Welcome to another 7 Minutes with Matt. I appreciate you and honor your time. And as always, thank you for spending 7 minutes with me. I always try to add value. And I think today is going to be very, very powerful because I'm basically pulling from one of the GOATs, the greatest of all time, Miles Monroe. I had the opportunity with my wife, Terry, 13 years ago to spend some time with Dr. Miles Monroe before he passed away. And I'm going to read out of one of my favorite devotionals that he has. And we're going to talk about the wealthiest spot on earth. And this was one of his signatures. And diving deeper into this and understanding this has completely changed my life. So let me read this to you. And we're going to talk about the wealthiest spot on earth. The wealthiest spot on the planet is not the oil fields of Kuwait, Iraq, or Saudi Arabia. Neither is it the gold and diamond mines of South Africa, the uranium mines of the Soviet Union, or the silver mines of Africa. Though it may surprise you, the richest deposits on our planet are just a few blocks from your house, no matter where you live. They rest in your local cemetery or graveyard. Because buried beneath the soil within the walls of those sacred grounds are dreams that never came to pass, songs that were never sung, books that were never written, paintings that never filled a canvas, ideas that were never shared, visions that never became a reality, inventions that were never designed, plans that never went beyond the drawing board of the mind, and purposes that were never fulfilled. Our graveyards are filled with potential that remained potential. What a tragedy. It says only a minute percentage of the billions of people in the world will ever experience a significant portion of their true potential. And here's the question you got to ask yourself. And this question changed my life 13 years ago, which is why you look at Matt Rogers 13 years ago compared to today, you're going to look at a Matt Rogers 13 years ago that was an employee of a company, and you look at the Matt Rogers today that owns 4 companies. You look at the Matt Rogers of 13 years ago that really only surrounded himself with like 1 or 2 friends or 1 or 2 people, and now I have a network of people. You look at a Matt Rogers that always talked about what he was going to do, and now you look at a Matt Rogers, by the way, I hate talking about myself in the third person, but whatever, that used to talk about what he's going to do, and now that he does it before he even has the full spectrum of how to do it. Why? Because this question changed my life. And here it is. And I'm asking it to you. Are you a candidate for contributing to the wealth of the cemetery? What is the wealth of the cemetery? It's called your potential. Don't die with your potential. Your potential is your biggest advocate, and it's also your worst enemy. Why? Because it's your biggest advocate because it's pretty much everything God put inside of you to be the thing that he created you to be, or to do the thing that he put inside of you to do, to give away what he put inside of you so that the world can benefit from what God deposited inside of you. That's why it's your biggest advocate. It's your worst enemy because it doesn't exist. It's just a dream. It's just a thought. It's just potential. As a football coach or even a player would always say, man, that kid's got potential, which means he's got the goods and what it takes to get there. He just hasn't got there yet. It's there, but it doesn't exist. And I wrote down a couple things about potential. Potential is never what you have done. What you have done is never your potential, because what you have done ceases to be your potential. If you have the potential to slam dunk a basketball and then you finally slam dunk a basketball, it's not potential anymore. You did it. So what you've done ceases to be your potential. Your potential demands that you never settle for what you have accomplished. That's a good one. Everybody talks about the better days of when they used to, when things were better, what I used to do, what I did before. Like, very seldomly do I talk about the Rose Bowl or winning the Rose Bowl, like in certain stories if it comes up, but like there's been so much life to do after winning the Rose Bowl. It's like most people are like, oh, that must have been the pinnacle of your life. No, it was having my first kid, Braden. Oh, Braden must have been the pinnacle of your life. No, it was having my second son, Mason. Well, that must have been the pinnacle. No, it was when he was diagnosed and then he overcame and now he doesn't do breathing treatments anymore. And then we had my daughter. And then we had another daughter. And then there was TV shows. Then there was businesses. Then there was, it goes on and on and on and on. So your biggest enemy is your potential when you don't flourish it. Again, potential demands that you never settle for what you've accomplished. And lastly, the greatest enemy of your potential is your last success. And we just talked about that. How much more, oh God, this is so good. If you're driving, turn it up. If you're taking notes, write this down. How much more could you do if you actually believed what God put inside of you? Boom. That is the question of your life. How much more would you do if you actually believed in what God put inside of you? I mean, that will wake you up in the morning. You won't even need an alarm clock to wake up. Some of the most successful people I know, they don't even set their alarm. They just get up because they know what they got to do. Potential is such a thing that it just racks my brain. It's like it could be your best friend or your worst enemy. It could be a great motivator or it could be a great destroyer. And remember this, you are more than what you have done. What is your potential? But more importantly, what are you going to do with that potential? Inside of every tree, or I'll say inside of every seed is a tree, and inside of every tree is a forest. Inside of every boy is a man. Inside of every girl is a woman. Inside of every marriage is a family. Inside of every cow is a herd. Inside of every lion, there's a tribe. There's potential in the seed of everything. And God put something inside of you that if you don't cultivate it, you don't believe it, and you don't let it go, you are robbing the world of why God made you. So what is the wealthiest spot on the planet? It's the graveyard. And again, are you a candidate for contributing to the wealth of the cemetery? If you are today, don't be tomorrow. A lot to think about on this one. And as always, thank you once again for joining me for another 7 Minutes with Matt.